right, if you guys want to stay up here, and the rest of the band, if you want to come up to the front. All right. Very loud.
Jason.
You guys have some beautiful names. Oh my gosh, just gorgeous. All right, so I have a little proclamation for you guys, and I do have a copy of the proclamation that I'll hand to Jason. What do they call you?
Mr. Stoltz.
Mr. Stoltz, but is there like a conductor or director? Sir. All right, sir. All right, so I have a copy of the proclamation for all of you to be able to take home, okay? So to all to whom these presents shall come, whereas Lloyd Memorial High School Marching Band is celebrating a season of great accomplishments. Lloyd Memorial High School Marching Band achieved Class AA first place with outstanding music, visual, and general effect in preliminaries, and placed third in finals at the Beechwood Festival of Bands. Lloyd Memorial High School Marching Band placed second in Class AA and third overall at the Ryle Festival of Bands. Lloyd Memorial High School Marching Band was named Best Guard, Best Percussion, first place in 2A, Best Overall Visual, Best Overall Percussion, and Reserve Grand Champion at the South Laurel competition in London, Kentucky. Lloyd Memorial High School Marching Band competed in the Kentucky Music Educators Association state regional competition and received a distinguished rating and third place, advancing to the state semifinals at Christian Academy in Louisville, Kentucky. Lloyd Memorial High School Marching Band competed at the State Marching Band Championships semifinals in October, where they received a distinguished rating. Lloyd Memorial High School Marching Band placed fifth overall and received another distinguished rating at the L&N Federal Credit Union Field at the University of Louisville, Kentucky for state finals. Lloyd Memorial High School Marching Band represents their school and community by showing their dedication through practices and performances. The City of Erlanger congratulates them on their accomplishments. Now, therefore, I, Jessica Fetty, Mayor of the City of Erlanger, Kenton County, Kentucky, do hereby proclaim December 4th, 2024 to be Lloyd High School Marching Band Day in Erlanger, and do commend this observance to all of our citizens, given under my hand and the seal of the City of Erlanger on this day, December 3rd, 2024. Congratulations.
I just want to say thank you to Mayor Fetty and the City Council, specifically Councilwoman Nicely and Lucas. It's a great honor to be recognized here. I cannot be more proud of this group of kids than I was this year. Very hardworking, very dedicated. I think it's worth noting that this group of kids here, ranging from all the way from 7th grade all the way up to seniors in high school, also represent at least 7 different nationalities and ethnicities. Over 50% of our band is of minority status. That is a huge huge accomplishment in this day and age to be recognized, to accomplish 5th overall in the state. I couldn't be more proud, and I know Ms. Gross and the rest of the staff are extremely proud of you all and the work that you all did this year. And I know you've represented our school, our community, and the sport of marching band extremely well. Thank you.
Okie doke. So now we will do our business spotlight. This month we are going to spotlight Putt Putt, Erlanger Putt Putt. Mr. Kevin Shea and Mrs. Shea are here today. As a reminder, council, we are doing a business spotlight via video. We are going to give them this video to deploy on their social media channels as our business recognition. But before we play this video for everybody, Mr. Shea, if you want to introduce yourself and give a little bit of background about your business.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to thank the City Council, Mayor Fetty, Mark, and Brandon, who came up and actually did the video. I've owned the business since it's been since 2011, but Putt Putt has been around in Erlanger since June of 1967. And we're happy to be part of the city of Erlanger, and being a lifelong resident, growing up on Timberlake in 1971 and playing at Rainbow Park. And hopefully he put that in the video about walking through the graveyard and going and playing all-you-can-play days, and then going down to Waldo Peppers and getting a pizza down there and having a quarter left because Mom gave us a quarter from Miss Pac-Man. But that in the video, we talked just about being a part of the city, and Putt Putt is Erlanger, is part of the city. That's how I feel about it, and I do want to thank the city for their support and all the days that they come up there and promoting our business in the city. So thank you. This is my happy place. This is where I'm most happy, is at Putt Putt Golf. I think for me, it was just a labor of love. I love what I do. I like being outside. I just enjoy people. I have about 5 families right now that are 3 generations. One family in particular, their daughter got married and had the rehearsal dinner. They brought the whole wedding party up here in their dresses and their tuxes and their suits, and they all play putt-putt. They feel a sense of belonging, which makes me very happy. I have 4 kids, and my kids have grown up here. All 4 of my kids have gone through here and worked. My wife takes care of all the landscaping. I take care of the greens and the woodwork and the remodeling. But what I take great pride in is ours is a true family business. This is a sport that an 80-year-old could play with a 6-year-old, and you can't find that anywhere. Is where grandma and grandpa can bring their grandkids up and still beat them at something, and it creates memories. We're trying to create memories, and that's the beauty about my business, and that's what it's about. Family or friends for the fun of it.
All right, that was a great video. Brandon's doing a great job with these pocket docs. All right. So I don't know if you know this, but the first picture that I have of me living in, or being in Kentucky when I was 3 years old is with my grandpa at Putt-Putt. I think that's the first picture of me being in Kentucky, so it's pretty cool. All right. All right, our next special presentation is our oaths of office for our fire and EMS. We have 4 individuals being sworn in this evening. If you'd like to come to the front.
Yes, Mayor, council, guest, exciting night for tonight. We got 4 individuals that are getting their oath of office tonight, so this will be exciting.
Get this right. Everybody good? All right. So I'm going to do all of these together. And when I say I, you just say your name loudly, okay? Loudly and proudly. I say your names really loudly so we can hear you. Okay. All right. Do solemnly swear to do my I'll take it from here. Do solemnly swear to do my duty as a firefighter EMT for the city of Erlanger to the best of my ability, to serve my commanding officers with respect and dignity, to serve the citizens of the city of Erlanger with compassion, courage, and integrity, and to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the city of Erlanger. So help me God. Say, I do. Great job, guys. Congratulations. All right. Our final special presentation this evening is our fiscal year 24 audit presentation. I give you John Chamberlain.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Jack, I'm sorry, I'm going to tell it again. It's really humbling to be a CPA and have to do these audit reports because I have to follow all these really great presentations. Last night I was at Independence and they had some police officer that had saved this little girl's life. And then I get up and do an audit report, and it's like, what a humbling experience, and so, but, I do my best, so that's all you can ask. Thank you very much. My name is John Chamberlain. I'm a CPA and partner at Chamberlain, Owen and Company, and we are proud Erlanger residents, and happy to be here in the city of Erlanger to do your audit report this evening. Start off by thanking Kara and Peter and Chrissy and your staff, and we just really thank you guys for taking care of us when we're here. They do a fantastic job of providing us with everything that we ask for. Kara will tell you without too much be very matter of fact that we're pretty annoying when we're here and we ask for a lot of things, and she's like, didn't I already give you that? I'm like, no. So but we really do appreciate her taking very good care of us. You're very lucky. I will say this again, and I think I told the Finance Committee this. Now that Linda Chapman has left the city of Florence, I think there's only 2 cities in northern Kentucky where the finance director prepares their own financial statements and government-wide, and it's called the ACFR, Annual Comprehensive financial report format for the GFOA. And there's only 2 cities in northern Kentucky where your finance director prepares those. I normally do it as the auditor, and Kara's one of those 2. And so that's really, she's really a good asset for the city. And I just want to make sure I say that before in public before I get out of here. So thank you, Kara. I appreciate it. We'll start with the slides. Am I driving here? There we go. So the first slide's the auditor's opinion. We gave what's called an unmodified opinion, meaning there's no modifications required to the opinion, and that's the highest opinion that we give. Well, that's one too many. Yeah, there we go. And that's the highest opinion that we give. And this means that we believe that your financial statements are fairly stated in all material respects in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. And that's the highest, like I said, that's the highest opinion that we give. As a part of every governmental audit, we do a review of internal controls, and we make sure that your riskiest assets are guarded through segregation of duties and other items, and we found no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies in internal controls that we are required to report. As a part of every governmental audit, we also do a review of compliance, and that's compliance with Kentucky revised statutes, any debt or grant agreements, federal payroll taxes, SERS contributions, that type of thing. And we had no issues of non-compliance to report as well. This year, because you expended greater than $750,000 in the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds, the city expended about $1.285 million in ARPA funds this year. You had to have a special examination agreement approved through the Department of Treasury, and we did that as well, and we had no issues of noncompliance over the expenditure of federal funds under that federal guidance. We did provide a letter to the council. This is a letter that's a governance letter that's required by our profession to you, those in charge of governance. And we had no unplanned audit adjustments in 2024. Again, that's a good thing. That means Kara is and her crew they have everything adjusted like they should in the financial statements. We make a planned standard annual adjustment to adjust your changes in your pension and OPEB liabilities every year. And you see we made a $948,000 adjustment to reduce pension liability and an $800,000 adjustment to reduce OPEB liabilities. And we'll talk more about that. You'll see that here in just a minute. Your 2023 financial statement, this goes back to what we were talking about a minute ago, was submitted to the GFOA for their Achievement in Excellence in Financial Reporting Award, and we suspect that this year's 2024 financial statements will receive the same award. And we also provided no management comments, and again, I like to provide management comments. I feel like I've earned my keep, but no management comments to Kara this year. All right, let's talk some numbers since I'm an accountant, you know. Cash has increased from last year, about $437,000 more in cash in 2023. Investments increased about $158,000 due to the strong market in June of 24. And you notice those investments have remained stable over the last, since 2017, actually. The GFOA that we've mentioned before, they have a suggestion or a rule of thumb to have a minimum of 3 to 6 months of operating expenses on hand in cash. For the city of Erlanger, about $6.6 million would be a 3-month reserve, and $13.2 million would be a 6-month reserve. Now, you have right at $19.8 million in unrestricted cash and $4.4 million in unrestricted reserves, totaling about $24 million on hand. So it's just over 11 months of cash reserve. So a fantastic cash position for the city. This is the liabilities for the city. The yellow are your current liabilities, down about $1.2 million last year because we recognized the $1.2 million in deferred revenue for those ARPA funds. We recognized those in the current year, so that current liability decreased. The pink, which you can't even see on there, is the current portion of the long-term debt. That's just the current portion of your compensated absences for your employees. That's about $172,000. The red, that's any long-term debt. Your bonds were paid off in 2023, so now that only includes the long-term portion of the capital assets for employees, about $382,000. And then the orange is your pension and OPEB liabilities. And if you'll notice, those are dropping, have been dropping the last few years. They dropped $8.9 million in 24 from the prior year, and the pension liabilities are based on an actuarial amount of how much is available in the entire pension systems account to pay all your retirees out. And when the market is strong, those liabilities go down. When the market's weak, those liabilities might tend to creep back up. And so the market, and these are measured at June 30th, 2023. And so the market was gangbusters in 23, even better in 24. And so the pension and OPEB liabilities both have decreased dramatically. And we would expect this to decrease again next year. So when you get your financial statements, and I know you'll all read them thoroughly and pore over them because that's what most people do, or that's why I envision most people doing, you'll see that the committed funds, and that's what I've got boxed in there, your committed funds are right at $15.8.2 million. And then the unassigned fund, about $8.45 million. Again, that's $24 million of unrestricted, either committed or unassigned, but unrestricted funds that the city has available. So your balance sheet, again, very strong. It was about $23 million last year, so $1.3 million over the prior year. Revenues versus expenditures for the city. And this is a nice 7-year comparison just to show kind of how that's changed. You see $27.7 million compared to $25.8 last year in revenues, and then $26.3 million in expenditures compared to $22 last year. That delta between revenues and expenditures is a $1.4 million gain compared to about a $3.7 million gain last year. The city has a self-imposed proposed fund balance target of 30% of expenditures and recurring transfers. And so that would require the city's fund balance to be about $7.9 million this year. You have 25.7, so that's about 97%. Solid. This is the income statement for the city. So you see that's your total revenues, 27 million. Again, broken down by funds, the general fund, the capital asset fund, and then a summary for all your non-major funds. And then your expenditures, again, broken down by fund. Notice there's no debt service. That all went away last year. And then also notice your capital outlay line. We'll talk about this more in a second, but $7.3 million in capital outlay. So the city is spending money on infrastructure in the city, roads, parks, buildings, police and fire vehicles. So that's really where that comes out on that capital outlay line of $7.3 million. Revenues by source, again, total revenues of $27.7 million, a 7.6% increase over the prior year, up roughly $2 million over 2023. Licenses and permits at $17.9 million, up about $1.7 million over last year, a 10% increase. And that's with no increase in payroll tax rates. So it's just a natural growth in payroll in the city. Property taxes up $5 million. At $5 million, up $75,000, but up right at $5 million of property tax. 1.8% increase, and again, that's up in just a natural increase in valuations, no property tax increases. Intergovernmental revenue at $2.4 million, down about $115,000. We recognized, again, $1.2 million in the ARPA funds both last year and this year, so pretty consistent there. And interest up $1.1 million, or interest at $1.1 million, up $350,000 from last year. The large amount of cash on hand at over 4% interest rate will do that. Expenditures by department, total expenditures at $26.3 million, a 19% increase over last year. Up about $4.2 million. The largest expenditure by far is the capital outlay this year at $7.3 million, about an 83% increase. Again, about $6 million of that for infrastructure purposes, roads, parks, things like that. $400,000 for police, fire, public works vehicles, and then $400,000 for buildings and improvements. Police expenditures at $6.8 million, very even to last year, down about $20,000. Fire and EMS up about $248,000 at $5.6 million, and Public Works about $350,000 increase at $3.3 million. General government up about $386,000 or 16% at $2.7 million. And just a little slide here. So this is your budget to actual slide, just to show you how you budget. And this is for the general fund. So the vast majority of your revenues and expenditures are flowing through the general fund, except for some of the capital outlay. And you see there, those are your original budget, your final budget, and the actual amounts of revenue and the actual amounts of expenditures. And then the fifth column over is the one I want you to pay attention to, is the variance column. So if it's a positive number in the variance column, that means you received more than you budgeted or expended less than you budgeted. So you see there you have about $3.3 million more in revenue that came in than what you budgeted for. So you're budgeting very conservatively with revenue, maybe even too conservatively. And then with charges to appropriations with your expenditures, you can see there $19 million actual expenditures on a budget of $21 million, about a $1.3 million under budget for your expenditures in your general fund. And again, outstanding audit report. We don't have any comments to issue, and would just invite questions from council, anything that I can answer or I could read the entire financial statements word for word if you'd like me to, all 80 pages, but
All right. Any questions? All right. Thank you so much, John.
all right, thank you, guys.
Your team always does an exceptional job. I do want to talk a little bit about Kara and how extremely blessed we are to have her in our Erlanger family. Your efforts are unparalleled. Your dedication, your commitment to our city is just, like, you can feel it every moment that I speak with you. So thank you so much. You are an exceptional member of our team. I want to talk about some of the really awesome things that we are seeing in here. So we're seeing this increase in our fund balance, and that's in spite of the reduction of the property tax rate for 10 years in a row. It's also the tangible property tax rate decreasing 10 years in a row and then staying the same this time around. The reduction in the insurance premium tax. Like, these are really great steps, and yet it's still producing an abundance of revenue over what is anticipated. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, I think, is the most critical, is Kara's initiative to create a master business listing and understand all of the businesses that are located within the city of Erlanger and identify who is supposed to be paying payroll taxes, who has an occupational license, and then really, paying attention to it and talking to those businesses if they are in delinquency. She has recovered hundreds of thousands of dollars in just paying attention to who is located in the city of Erlanger. And this is something that has never been done before. It's a brilliant idea, and it's a tremendous benefit for our city. The interest accruing, I think, is one that is her pride and joy. She is giddy over the dollar amount of interest that we've brought in. So I know that that's not necessarily forever, but it's pretty awesome for now. So as you guys can see, our financial position is exceptionally strong. And I want to thank everyone on council for supporting our initiatives. We are focusing on the right things. We're focusing on a big vision for Erlanger, increasing quality of life, increasing property values, decreasing the tax liabilities on our residents as much as possible. And I think we are seeing that play out all throughout our city. So thank you so much for your commitment to the glorious vision of Erlanger. All right. Oh, yes, sir. Yep.
I hope you wouldn't mind if I point out one other really cool thing in here. On page 76 is a great little bit of data that I love seeing. This compares the top taxpayers, the top businesses of our city in 2024 versus where we were in 2015. And if you look at it and notice, there's a lot of new businesses on there. The top 10 taxpayers, the top 10 businesses in our city, there are a few that are the same from 2015. It's not because a lot of the 2015 businesses are still here. They've just been superseded by a lot of other businesses. And it's a really telling chart showing the confidence that businesses have in our city, willing to invest huge amounts of money to be here and be a part of this city. And I just love seeing that. So I appreciate that John includes that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for calling attention. That is one of my favorite pages. All right. Thank you again, John. Here you go. Next item on the agenda, shuffle my papers around, are comments of those other than council members, so public comment. We have Eric Bunzow, is that how you say that? And if you can hit the little green button, there you go, thank
I
you.
apologize for being late tonight. I had to go to our caucus meeting in Ellesmere because that's where I live. I travel through Erlanger every day on my way to work at 6 o'clock in the morning at the county building. I work for Gabe Summey. On July 8th, my pink Tesla was rear-ended at a stoplight at Commonwealth at Cowie. I have contacted KYTC 4 times, asking them to check the sensors at that light, because every day it is cycling and it is stopping for nobody. It is stopping people on Commonwealth for nobody turning off of Cowie. That's why you haven't seen my car. I still don't have it back, but I'm supposed to get it before Christmas. Parts and everything else. At that intersection, I was the 3rd car back. Lady was on her phone. She didn't get cited for anything other than her insurance company saw the video from my car and said, yep, sure enough, that's my driver's fault. So dealing with insurance and all that. The other thing that I have also mentioned, the state asked me to get a hold of the county. So I also got a hold of the county about the tree. So there is a tree that is overhanging the road between Elm Street and Cowie on Commonwealth. That tree is also hindering the light as you're coming down the slope, or the small little hill to that stoplight. So I know I don't live in the city. I'm just coming to you because you guys are really my last resort in asking for that to be looked at. Still to this day, every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting stopped at that light or I'm going around the light. That is the only light in my life that I've ever said I just wanted to run, because I'm tired of having to be stopped every single morning. Nobody coming off of Cowie. It's ridiculous. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm late, because like I said, I was at my caucus meeting for our city, and I ran over real quick, and thank you for letting me speak tonight, even though I know I'm a little late. I do apologize for that, but
No need for apologies. You are right on time.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so we will, this is a state route.
I
However,
understand.
we have a really good communication with District 6, so we can reach out to them and have them take a look at the sensors and see if there's something wrong with the Cowie and Commonwealth light. We'll also take a look at the tree that's overhanging and see if it's something that needs to be rectified, okay?
It's kind of weird because it's high enough to where no vehicle is hitting it. But when you're coming down, I'll send them the pictures and video to you, because obviously my car is a mobile camera.
Okay,
So I will
okay.
grab that and send you all the videos, and then you can send it to the council members if they want to see it. I mean, it's all out there.
Okay. All right. Well, all of our email addresses are on our website. If you
I
want
know
to send
who
me
you
that
are.
information, you can definitely send that information to me, and then
Okay.
we'll get with Mike Beazold at District 6 and have him take a look at it, okay?
Like I said, I mean, it's every day, and that's why I'm just coming in
Okay.
last resort, and
We
hoping
shouldn't
that
ever
they'll
be
do
your
something.
last resort. We should be your first resort.
I'm not sure with...
Best resort.
What's the next, I don't know the next street with Cowie.
Hulbert.
Okay, when
It's
people
after.
are pulling out of there, both of the lights are stopping, which doesn't make any sense either.
Okay.
Because if somebody's coming off of Hulbert, somebody could still be turning and going through the Cowie light, and I think they're not synced with anything else.
Okay.
It's like a crapshoot every day you go through there. It seems to be different.
Okay.
So I'm just asking that you contact them, because, I mean, I've reached out to them 4 times to KYTC and then the county once. And the
Okay.
county, they told me that there was a county road that they would trim the tree, and I'm like, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, the Commonwealth is a state route.
Right.
So it's definitely something that we would have to talk to KYTC, the District 6, about.
Okay.
But we can take care of that.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much. All right. On to my mayor's report. let's see here. So the first thing that I want to do is, this is Don Skidmore's final meeting, and we want to thank him for his service. You've been on for 10 years, Don, and you'll be truly missed. And we do have a gift for you. All right. And then we do have one other retirement from our council. She is not here this evening. Miss Vicki Kyle was on council for 28 years. I have had the absolute pleasure to get to know her. I am so heartbroken that she's not able to be here with us tonight. But I'm sure we'll be able to say, you know, she's not going to go anywhere. I think she's still going to attend our city beautification and our Parks Master Planning Task Force meetings. She still wants to be very much involved from what I've talked to her about. So this is not goodbye, just we'll see you in a different capacity. But we do have a gift for her 28 years. And hopefully we'll be able to have a little party for everybody once everybody's back healthy. All right. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to mention is, so everybody had asked about the swearing-in ceremony, so we're just going to do it at the caucus meeting like we have done probably every year since I was on, I think we even did that when I was on council. So our December caucus meeting will just be turned into our swearing-in ceremony. All right. City Administrator's report, Mr. Glenn.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. Christmas party is December the 13th on Friday. And what time does that start?
6 o'clock, I believe.
6 o'clock, okay, cool. And then we also have the tree lighting here at the city building next Friday. I'm sorry, the very next, yeah, which is also this Friday, sorry. The 6th, anyway. So, which is also a great time, and Public Works does a great job with all the tree lighting, and we'll get everything lit this Friday. One interesting thing is through Duke Energy, they have granted us a tree line it's a Tree Line USA grant for $2,500 for the planting of some trees, which will happen in the spring. And, we really appreciate Duke Energy and their cooperation with us over this past year. And they have done a lot of grants and sent a lot of money our way, and it's much appreciated. And the last thing, and I don't know if Mark is going to talk about this or not, but I know a couple council members were interested in what's going on along Riggs Avenue, and that's that development is the Commonwealth Station. And that is 10 new condos being constructed there. We're very, very excited to see something like that go in as a redevelopment. Mark's worked real hard on making all that happen and getting everything passed and with cooperation with PDS. So we love to see that one come in, and maybe a few more along Riggs Avenue. That would be a real benefit to the city. And that is all I have.
All right, thank you. All right. Mr. Gatlin, City Attorney's report.
Yes, Mayor, just a couple things. First off, We have two pieces of legislation tonight. Both are second readings. One is the zoning text amendment for tattoos, which is allowing tattoo parlors in the mixed-use zone to be conditional uses. And the second is somewhat of a housekeeping issue, and it's also on bids. You'll see under cable franchise, which we awarded the non-exclusive telecommunications franchise to Cincinnati Bell Extended Territories, which is DBA Alta Fiber Connected. That's pretty much business as usual as on that issue. We just had to renew our 5-year franchise. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Quinn, report on capital projects.
Thank you, Mayor. Jefferson Construction has been working on Hayden and Yeager project. They've wrapped up. Hayden is completed. They'll be back in the spring to start Yeager. Brigler Asphalt had finished up Theodore in this last month. Shearborn Park, we have started some concrete work up there along with the retaining wall on the backside there, and that will continue through this winter with weather permitting, of course. And then, of course, then we'll have the installation of the playground equipment and the building of the shelter. And we do have 2 bid openings this next month with Kenneboo opening up Thursday and Narrows Road Bridge December 12th. So that's all I have for capital projects. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other department heads? Cool. Oh, Mark.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief update on medicinal cannabis. There is a memo that you guys have that we prepared just to kind of give the state of where we are right now. So there was a lottery that the state did about a week ago, week and a half. Erlanger did receive 2 of the 4 medicinal cannabis dispensary licenses throughout our region in northern Kentucky. That was extremely lucky. But I do want to commend this council and this body for being so proactive. I really do feel like that generated a lot of applications in Erlanger. We got ahead of the game a little bit, and that did really help us in the end. So one of those is not going to be able, we're only going to be able to have 1 dispensary in Kenton County. I do think that will be a redevelopment project outside of a buffer zone. So we're positioned really well on our dispensary situation. So I just wanted to commend this body and this council for being proactive in that approach. So thank you very much for that.
All right, thank you. All right, reports from any task forces? I don't know if we've had any. All right. Our bids this evening, the Hallam and Elm Street improvements.
Thank you, Mayor. So back on October 3rd, we had bid openings for Hallam and Elm Street. These are mill and overlay with extruded curbs. We had 2 bidders, with Eaton Asphalt being the low bid within budget, and we'll be moving forward with Eaton Asphalt. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then the cable franchise, did you want to talk about that one?
I think I mentioned it in my attorney's report, but I'll say it now as well, that we had one bidder, which was the Cincinnati Bell Extended Territories.
All right, great. All right. Do we have any unfinished business this evening? Okay, do you have any new business this evening? All right. Legislation.
All right, Mayor, first we have an ordinance amending the Erlanger zoning ordinance, adding tattoo parlors as a conditional use within the MU mixed use zone. This is a second reading, and it went in front of KCPC. And they recommended that the city adopt it based on the following 5 conditions: that the proposed text amendment is within KRS 100, the proposed text amendment is consistent with the purpose of the MU zone, the proposed text amendment will add a use that is consistent with other uses within the MU zone, that the proposed text amendment is reasonable, and that the spacing requirements for tattoo or body art services will limit proliferation, also best based upon testimony during the public hearing held on November 7th, 2024. You can see attached is the exhibit, and all that's happening is that now, as a conditional use, tattoo parlors are a part of the mixed-use zone. And just so council knows, and anyone listening, what that just means is if someone now applies, they would have to go to the Board of Adjustments to actually obtain that permit. So the Board of Adjustments could look at different things to regulate it as well. And being a conditional use is what's consistent with the other commercial zones.
All right. Do I entertain a motion that we adopt this ordinance as read? Ms. Reckers, Mr. Cahill. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Jasper Lucas,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Wilson, Ms. Nicely,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Reckers,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Skidmore, Mr. Hermes,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Cahill,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Skidmore.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, motion carried.
All right, next we have an ordinance confirming the sale and awarding a non-exclusive telecommunications franchise to Cincinnati Bell Extended Territories LLC, doing business as Alta Fiber Connected, for the placement of cable systems, providing for the transmission, distribution, and sale of cable systems within the public right-of-way of the city of Erlanger, Kentucky, for an initial period of 5 years from the effective date with a possible 5-year renewal, and further providing for compliance with relevant laws, regulations, and standards, usage limitations, indemnification, insurance, cancellation, or termination, and such other terms and conditions contained in the attached cable services franchise agreement, and bid requirements all effective on the date of passage. Again, bit of a housekeeping issue. This doesn't change anything from what we're currently doing. I do believe the name has changed of the entity since the last time we did a franchise. Otherwise, this is business as usual and is approving the franchise agreement, which is attached, which is a 5-year agreement.
All right, do I entertain a motion that we adopt this ordinance as read? Ms. Jasper Lucas, Ms. Wilson, any discussion? All right, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Skidmore,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Cahill,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hermes,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Skidmore, Ms. Reckers,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Nicely,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Jasper Lucas.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, motion carried.
Next, we have a municipal order of the City of Erlanger in Kenton County, Kentucky, approving the reappointment of Beth Rossblock as a member of the Urban Forest Commission for the City of Erlanger. This appointment runs from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027.
All right, do I entertain a motion that we adopt this municipal order as read? Mr. Hermes, Ms. Jasper Lucas, any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carried.
Next, we have a municipal order of the City Council of the City of Erlanger in Kenton County, Kentucky, approving the reappointment of Todd Herman as a member of the Kenton County Planning Commission. This appointment is a 4-year term beginning January 1st, 2025 and running through December 31st, 2028.
Okay, do I entertain a motion that we adopt this municipal order as read? Mr. Hermes, Ms. Reckers, any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next, we have a municipal order of the City Council of the City of Erlanger in Kenton County, Kentucky, approving the reappointment of Mayor Jessica Fetty as the representative of the city to the Planning and Development Services Kenton County PDS Management Board, and the reappointment of Councilmember Tyson Hermes as the alternate effective January 1st, 2025. This is a 1-year term.
Okay, do I entertain a motion that we adopt this municipal order as read? Ms. Reckers, Ms. Jasper Lucas, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? All right, motion carried.
Finally, we have a municipal order of the City Council of the City of Erlanger in Kenton County, Kentucky, approving the reappointment of Mayor Jessica Fetty as the representative of the city to the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana OKI Regional Council of Governments, effective January 1st, 2025. This also is a 1-year term.
All right, do I entertain a motion that we adopt this municipal order as read? Mr. Hermes, Ms. Wilson, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right. It's efficient. All right, any announcements this evening? Mr. Hermes?
I'd like to make a quick reminder, again, that the Northern Kentucky Regional Ethics Authority is looking for applications for people to serve on the enforcement board. And those applications will be open until about mid-January, I think January 6th to be safe. So if you have any interest, or if you know of anybody that might be interested, please point them in my direction. I'll help them get the application that they can submit. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other announcements? Yep. Go ahead.
Just a reminder, we've got a ribbon cutting tomorrow morning at 8:30 at Chase Bank. It's located at 3313 Dixie Highway. So it should be a quick session. Get there at 8:30, out by 8:50. They've got to start promptly at 9 o'clock. So please feel free to come and participate in that. Just a quick note, they are bringing 10 different jobs to Erlanger and $6.5 million in reinvestment into that property. So it's a good deal for the city of Erlanger. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I also wanted to thank everybody that attended the depot reopening tonight. If you do have a chance, just drive by it tonight. We have all the lights still on, and the blinds are open, so you can see all the beautiful lights and the Christmas decorations that are on the inside. So we're looking forward to the regular opening of the museum. So thank you, guys. So do I entertain a motion that we adjourn? Ms. Reckers, Ms. Nicely, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?